Sinner and the Saint. I'm Melissa Bell.
And I'm Allison Kane.
Today we have a fun episode, and I don't even know how we came upon this topic, but we actually reached out on social media with hashtag It's a Trap. What is something that you thought one thing, but turned out it's a trap?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like when you walk into Target and you're just like, oh, look at that cute dollar section.
Oh, yes, we did get that quite a few times.
And then I will purposely go in to Target with a list of 3 things and not get a cart on purpose.
Oh, gosh.
So that I only come out with the 3 things on my list.
How's that working out for you?
Not happened yet. Not.
But I bet you found creative ways to drag a ton of stuff through Target.
I am so creative.
I bet.
And it's probably why I need to go to the chiropractor a lot.
Right. Oh gosh, somebody else said, when you're just going to go to the friend's house for one drink or happy hour, one margarita, whatever, like that is a trap.
And then you have a happy attack and you just have one more and then right.
Well, and for me, it's like, oh, I'll have a drink, but now I need some carbs, right? Now I'm eating, it's a slippery slope for me. Like I am going from one drink to now I'm having a bag of pretzels and wait, let's go ahead and get a cookie while we're there.
Mine most recently has been a 70% off sale at my favorite bougie designer clothing store.
Ooh.
I left with 5 items, none of which were from the sale rack. It's a trap.
Oh, girl, for real. Oh, and this one cracks me up. I agreed to help with the upcoming big event for the school. It's the first in-person event for kids and families, and I have a feeling I'm about to be recruited to be a PTA chair. It's a trap.
Facts. Oh my gosh.
What about when you just go to this hour-long information seminar on a vacation so you can get like, one of these 3 great gifts.
A free vacay?
Right, a free vacay.
Yeah, come stay for a 3-day weekend. It's all on us. You just have to come for an hour and sit. Yes. And then they basically like hold you prisoner, I think. I don't know. I've never done it.
So I didn't do that, but when we went to Mexico, we signed up they took us to a different resort and we did one of those 1-hour things that was actually 3.5 hours. But we got like this really great dinner for 2 on the beach, candlelight. But y'all, first of all, a trap because we were there for hours. But secondly, on the beach for that little candlelight dinner for my birthday, I got eaten up by sand fleas and I had welts everywhere, top to bottom. So here I am in Mexico. I am not going to not wear a bathing suit because I have welts all over me because I'm in Mexico and I'm going to sit at the daggone beach. Y'all, people were terrified to get in the pool next to me. I itched all the way home.
A little leprosy. Stay away from that lady. I don't think the chlorine will kill what she has.
So not only is that little dinner for 2 a trap, but also that cute little romantic dinner on the beach in Mexico, don't do it.
Oh my gosh, that is really funny. Like I can totally picture every single bit of that story that you're talking about.
Oh, it was painful.
Oh, well, I think, and these are all fun things that it's a trap.
Right.
But in life, we can get into situations that we shouldn't, whether it's with a coworker, maybe of the opposite sex, or it has to do with alcohol, or maybe a little too much retail therapy, or pride. You get to an event and you're volunteering, and then you get sucked in like, oh, well, this makes me feel really important. And you kind of lose sight of the reason that you're supposed to be there. Right. It turns more into pride or even not even pride, but a way to distract yourself from the things that are important.
Oh,
so that you just can busy yourself. So busyness is a trap too, because it keeps us from dealing with our emotions, dealing with our relationships, and we keep on denying things and stuffing things in. But it is a slippery slope to sin.
Yeah, I will say that I recently figured that out. Once again, it's a lesson I have to learn probably weekly, but I had really organized my entire house, and I'm always avoiding something, right? So I organized my whole house, and it was fun, but it all in the name of I'm simplifying. So it's good, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm simplifying, but really I'm ignoring the things I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
And recently it's been all about food prepping, really healthy foods. And it's great, right? Because my son's eating more fruits and vegetables and we're eating more whole food, plant-based. But all the things that I'm not doing, I'm supposed to be doing because I'm so focused on this one thing staying busy.
The overfocus.
Yeah.
Right. Anything, I always say, too much of anything is a bad thing.
Yes.
Everything in moderation. And that goes for chocolate cake.
Darn it.
That goes for all the way from chocolate cake to volunteering, right?
Yeah.
Even the things that, there's some things that we know aren't necessarily good for us, like chocolate cake with all the sugar and the calories and the fat and blah, blah, blah. But if it's in moderation, then it's okay. But then there are some things that it is really easy to lose sight of the fact that we need to do them in moderation because they just seem so good.
Right.
Like the volunteering at school or the volunteering at church or the helping of others. And we can easily turn that into a negative thing. And it becomes a trap for us. So we're talking about Target setting a trap and the designer clothing store setting a trap and the PTA people setting a trap. But really, we set a trap for ourselves often.
Yeah.
And we need to open our eyes to that within ourselves and notice more of heaven instead of earth.
Tell me about that.
I found this amazing Elizabeth Barrett Browning quote. And she said, just 4 little words that caught my ear. Earth's crammed with heaven.
Ooh.
I loved that.
Yes.
I
That's
think
such a statement.
we can get so sucked into the negative. Sometimes.
What? Is there negative things going on in the world right now? I had no idea.
I know, right? We can get so caught up in that, and that can also seem like a good thing, but it's not when we're over-focused.
Right.
Anything to an extreme, even a focus, and our thoughts can go into that negative pattern. And I loved the idea that earth is crammed with heaven, but we've got to open our eyes to this, to take notice.
Well, I always say, be careful what you look for because you're going to find it.
Oh, so true. Oh my gosh, that is so true. I mean, if you're angry with somebody, you can look and find 1,000 other things.
Right.
And
Trust
you can
me, I've done it.
dig up stuff from the past.
Oh, yeah.
Make up stuff from the future that they might do. I mean, we can be so creative.
Right.
Right? I mean, anyone who says, oh, I'm just not that creative, I'm like, okay, hold up just a minute. Let's think about that last time you were awake in the middle of the night and you heard a noise.
Ooh.
And think about how creative your imagination got.
Right?
When you were coming up with what it might be.
Let's use it for good, people.
I'm sure there's a bear scratching at my back door at the porch.
Your girl lives in the middle of Raleigh, but, it's possible.
Hey, there are bears around here.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things.
More like a bare bottom streaking down the street from NC State.
Yeah, there's probably a few of those. Definitely some dudes, some fraternity boys that have been thrown into the Meredith Lake naked and left behind for fraternity stunts.
Oh my goodness.
We digress.
Yeah, we should.
I think, the little things, noticing like the compassion from others. I have noticed that so much recently, after losing my dad, just the little things that people do, that compassion. It could be just an action, a small word, a deed, anything. I remember saying in front of your youngest, when people are nice to me, it makes me cry. And he was like, looked at me like, what? That is so weird. Shouldn't it? You could tell he was thinking, shouldn't it be when people are mean to you, it makes you cry? But, if we open our eyes to that, that is heaven here on earth.
Yeah.
That is Jesus living through these other people through their compassion. And, when we take time to be alone with ourselves and the Lord, out and quiet and in nature, we can certainly notice how heaven, the rhythms of heaven and creation are surrounding us.
Yes, my place for that is at the beach. That's when I feel the closest. I think you're similar. Outside, anywhere is probably my second, except in the city. I'm just too distracted. There's way too many, hypervigilance going on for me. But if I'm out in, even in my yard, you just see so many different beautiful flowers, or I hear all the different birds. Just think of all the bird calls. That is a creative God.
For sure.
Right?
I love that.
I just sit and listen. I'm like, babe, listen to the birds. And my son's like, yeah, okay, Mom. But for me, because I'm older and a little more sentimental, I guess, I just hear God everywhere. And, first thing in the morning, when there's not a whole lot of traffic, open your window, just sit and listen.
To me, that just shows God's great love for us. I mean, we wouldn't know any difference if he had created the world and he was like, okay, here's some birds. They're going to look different, but they're all going to say the same thing.
Right.
Like, we wouldn't know. But no, he cared so much about every single detail and us, and put so much love into creation that not only do they look different, but they sing different songs. And that is such a beautiful thought to me, because that's how each of us are.
Oh, yes.
Like we all kind of can be pinpointed into certain personality traits and backgrounds and such, but we're all unique in our own way, even with our similarities.
I love that. This is kind of going to be, I'm going to throw this at you, and I should have thrown it at you sooner, but before we recorded. But for me, church can be a trap. And when I say that, I mean, we can get so caught up in our righteousness, is that a good word for it? Yep. That we can become very legalistic and judgy and push everybody else away because they're not measuring up. That is a trap.
That is a trap. It's also a trap to think that if you go to church on Sunday, then you have crossed God off your list for the week. That is a trap. That is not. We must be looking for him, heaven crammed into earth in every single bit of every single day.
And I love that statement again, that heaven crammed into earth, because when you start to acknowledge God in the everyday aspect, like being outside, looking at the clouds, you start to commune with God and you don't even know it.
Yes.
And so that is probably how my true relationship with God started. Was noticing those little things and just saying, wow, that is amazing. It is acknowledging his greatness right there in front of you. And that is where the personal relationship with me started, aside from my very angry journal.
Well, God can handle it.
Oh, yes, thankfully.
He can take it. That's the beauty of it. And I think, there's more, we notice more of heaven crammed into earth in the giving and receiving of kindness from others, not the judgment.
Right. Yeah.
That is not heaven crammed into earth.
Yes, that is definitely not.
But the kindness, the little tiny, like we were saying, I mean, it's compassion. Showing compassion, I think, is different. Compassion is more like a feeling that you may have for someone, but then giving or receiving is an action. It's a verb of kindness, And I think being able to receive the kindness and to also give it is so much of heaven here on earth.
So it's interesting. I remember you saying that to my son, that it's hard when people are nice to you. It makes you cry. So I'm just wondering, what about it? Is it hard for you to accept kindness from other people because you are such a giving person, but oftentimes people that are such givers have a hard time receiving?
I would agree with that. I mean, I think, that is generally my role, is caring for others, helping others. Not that I haven't been in 1,000 situations where I've needed help. And I think it is a lot harder for me and that it's overwhelming for me. Like in a good sense. Right. That, wow, okay, these people love me. And they care about me. And not that I question that, but I think it's pausing to accept that in that moment and noticing the compassion and receiving the gift of kindness. And that can be so overwhelming, and it does make heaven feel right here among me, among us and within me.
Well, and I think I love the fact that now you are understanding why people always are like, she's so amazing. And you're like, I'm not amazing. I'm just being myself, right? Or I'm just doing what I feel like I should be doing. Now you understand why people say that, because you're getting the receiving end of it, right? Which you don't often get. And so now you're understanding why not that people should ever hold you on a pedestal, but you understand why people value you so much, because you are such a compassionate person.
That is definitely how God made me. Yeah. I am thankful for the friends that, one recently was like, I would like to bring you a meal and just let me know what day is good for you.
Oh, well done. So this is great. I'm glad you're saying this. And y'all, I have struggled so much. This is a total, like, I guess it's a trap also, but I have not known how to serve Allison in this time. I've, sent her text messages and maybe brought her something small, but I always hear like, hey, don't ask them what you can do for them. Just do something for them. But then I'm also like, what does that look like? I don't know what to do. And so I love that you just gave us an example.
But here's what I said. No, it's really fun. We're over at Mom's a lot and back and forth, and it's really okay, but thank you so much,
Allison.
And she said, no, I'm going to bring you a meal.
Okay.
Even if you put it in your freezer, tell me what day you would like it.
I don't know who you are, friend, but you are a rock star, and you just pushed her right into the uncomfortable zone she needed to be in.
And she was so right. Like, that day that I told her, like, it was as if, everything had just sort of culminated, and so many things, all the planning and all the stress and the grief had caught up, and I had literally come home and fallen asleep on the couch, and I woke up 5 minutes before the doorbell rang, and there was no way I could cook dinner that night. And so sometimes you have to be pushy, I guess is what I'm saying.
I love you, friend. I think we're probably cut from the same cloth, whoever you are. So.
Oh my gosh. And I think that goes, what gets in the way and prevents us from noticing that earth is just crammed with heaven is that we make assumptions. Like, I'm making an assumption, like, I don't want to bother her. She's so busy with 2 young kids, and I'll be fine. We can order takeout. Like, the assumptions that we make about something that's happened or someone. And so we just move on. Yeah. Instead of allowing that person or that situation to flesh itself out with, like, heaven here on earth. And then we also let, the fear and stress overwhelm our thoughts and observations. We don't take the time to notice and to be still and quiet. And because we just stay busy. Yeah.
I think we've talked about this before, but probably no one else remembers, so I'm going to say it again. I was in a staff meeting one time when I worked at a church, and they were saying, the lined paper that you had in school, the outer edge was called the white space. So you have to make sure you have white space in your life. And if you don't have white space in your life, where are you leaving room for God?
Ooh.
I was pretty cynical at that time in my life, and I thought, well, I'd have white space if I didn't work here. But anyways, I did get a lot more white space when I no longer worked at that job. Oh. But we do fill our white space. Because I don't know about you, but like when I'm supposed to be paying attention in class, I'm doodling on the outside of those lines, right? Which is why I wasn't a good student. But I couldn't leave the white space. I had to fill it with something. And so I just wonder, what are you filling your white space with? Yeah. What trap are we falling into? The busyness trap, I have it all together.
Or, I don't really have anything to give today. Or, so we didn't talk about this, but I'd like to close with something. This is total surprise for you.
Shocker.
I'm throwing one on you this time.
Nice.
So, in my quiet time with the Lord over the past, this was actually the Friday before my dad passed away, but, in my quiet time, I was asked this question from the Lord. Is it a journey? Is it really a journey, or is it a rhythm? And I think that this gets us stuck sometimes. thinking about, we have always heard our whole lives that the Christian life, it's a journey, And so this is my open heart response to that, what the Lord poured into my heart. I think that thinking about switching our mindset could really open our minds and our eyes to seeing more of heaven crammed into earth. Is it a journey or a rhythm? I believe it's more than a journey or a walk with God, more than this linear landscape I've embraced for so long. A journey feels fretfully long, lonely, exposed, and is so much easier to judge or to be judged by the length and the distance you may have come. 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, they say. But a rhythm allows you to step into the faithful symphony, always there and waiting for us to step up and join in the beauty, just as we are. Some days a trumpet, and others the old lady in the front pew who sings off key. But all are welcome. God created this world in a rhythmic fashion that created all that's around us, here and in the heavens. His glory is in the rhythm woven into heartbeats, waves of the ocean lapping on shores, steady seasons, phases of the moon, and sunrises and sunsets. He is in the rhythm of raindrops falling, rocking chairs, the beating of butterfly wings, the hum of a content child, twinkle of a star, and the sway of trees in the gentle wind or wild gale. He is in the rhythm of labor pains and the final breaths at death, laughter and tears that flow down warm cheeks, buoys riding the waves in the vast expanse of the oceans, a newborn's cry, the blooming of a flower, and even the rise of proving bread. Step into the gentle movement and rhythm that surrounds you. Join the rhythmic symphony of creation just as you are, with no judgment or expectations, and simply ask, what melody is your life playing?
That's gorgeous. I love it.
So I think changing our mindset from we're on this journey, this linear, oh, today I did so great, yesterday I didn't, blah, 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 blah. We're here, we're there, we're everywhere, we're back, we're forward. Where can you step into this rhythm of creation and the world today? Where can you be a part of heaven crammed into this earth today? You may be spectacular today, like first string, violin, and then the next day, maybe you just can't. All you got is an off-key, note on the back pew, not even the front. And that's okay. But step into it.
I love it because, journey is striving.
Yeah.
Never thought of it like that.
I hadn't either.
But I do think when you move in rhythm with God, you will naturally be on a journey to who you are.
Yes, for sure.
But it's not striving. It's really just connecting with God.
And joining that rhythm. I mean, I don't know about you, but I definitely want to live my life cramming heaven into earth
I
these
love
days.
It. Yes.
We hope that's what you do this week, and we hope you've been inspired by the conversation today.
All right. We'll see you next week on the Center and the Same.